Welcome to COMANDOLIN. Today, going all the way to square one. Absolute basics, day one. Maybe you got a mandolin for Christmas. Maybe the thing has just come in on Amazon. Maybe your grandpa just gave you one. Who knows, but you've decided to start playing some mandolin. And we're going to help you hit the ground running and get you started. We're going to get you tuned up, talk about your first three chords, a super common chord progression that's used in approximately 70 zillion songs, and a little strumming pattern that'll go with that. We'll have you off and running in no time. Also, I'm going to link down below a couple other videos that you should check out. One's called How to Play Music on the Mandolin Right Away, which is really helpful to go along with what I'm about to show you here. So be sure to check a couple of these things out, and you're about to have a lot of fun. Hey, be sure to subscribe down below. COMANDOLIN do a lot of these tutorials and lessons and stuff. And got the ever-expanding COMANDOLIN store with new t-shirts and hoodies, stickers. Let them know what you're not playing. And be sure to check it out. And all right, let's get started here. All right, so clip the tuner to the headstock. Hit the only button on the thing. And now it's on. So we're going to work our way from the thickest strings down to the thinnest here. So this first note, let's see. See how it's reading a little bit left of G? It says what the note is. I'm a little bit flat of G. So if I take my little tuner here, I'm doing this one-handed, and bring that up so that right when the note is right, it sits right in that blue. Maybe I've got a little bit. Now if it's sharp, and you come down to it, a thing to note here, no pun intended, is go down and always come up into the note. You don't want to lower yourself down to the note because that just puts slack in the string. There we go. So it sits, when it's in there, it sits right in that G. And we're going to hit its little partner string. Hear that wobble? Just bring that up so they sound. Sounds nice and close, and then of course you can check it here, right here in the tuner, or a little bit more. Alright, sounding pretty good. So that's G. You'll just do the same process with this strings are the D strings. These will be A, and these will be E. Alright, all tuned up and ready to go. Here's our first chord, the G chord. It's kind of like your home bass chord in the mandolin. Just because your lowest string is G, you can ring out all the notes real nice. The high E string, you're going to go on the 3rd fret. And on the A string here, you're going to go on the 2nd fret. So you're going to have this little triangle shape here. And then the other 2 strings open. Here we go, G chord, G major. It's chord number 1. Next chord, everything's just going to come up 1 string. 2. This will be a C major. Right now I've got my finger 3rd fret on the A string and 2nd fret on the D. I've got the same little triangle shape as before, just 1 string up. Again, hitting all the strings. Even let them ring out. Sounds real nice right off the bat. Don't have to change shapes, not doing anything. Alright, one more chord we're going to use. D, D major. It's going to be 2nd fret on the top string, 2nd fret on the bottom string. And again, you're going to hit everything. So that's the 3rd chord. So G, C, and D. Alright, here's what we're going to do with them. This will sound real familiar, real fast. Alright, so here's the progression and the rhythm, and we'll break it down. this is in what we call 3/4 time, which means these are just in groups of 3, which you probably notice. It's a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Almost like a waltz feel, but it makes it real easy to count this out and feel it out. So what you're going to do is on the 1, you hit the bottom G string open, and then 2 and 3, you'll hit everything open. They're not open, you've got your chord here, but you know, 1, 2, 3. Also, just as a note, I've kind of got in my hand, this is a guitar thing that I just can never get out of my system, but I'm muting the strings, especially when I sit around and I'm playing by myself. You know, we're not worried right now about chop, volume, cutting through the mix, competing with other band members, anything. We just want it to sound nice. So you put your fat part of your thumb or your palm just kind of lightly resting on the bridge. Just kind of puts the strings under control, so that instead of ringing out all the way, you can just kind of control them. Control how much note content, if you will, you want coming through. But just you're doing this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going to get comfortable with that. And what we're going to do is do it in groups of 2 groups of those 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to move to that C chord. Everything up a string and do the exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Back down here to the G. And then to the D chord, the other chord we showed. Your right hand is doing the same thing every time. Your bottom string 1, everything else 2 and 3. So C chord, G chord, D chord. We go back to the G, C. Now here's where it changes. Here, you're just going to go 1 group, D, it's just you're only hitting it 1 group of 3 here. 1, 2, 3. So one more time, that whole progression. One variance we might want to throw in there is at the ending, instead of just doing this, right there at the end, a lot of times you'll hear songs go back up to that C chord again like this. Sometimes they stop for big effect. And then back to G, D. So here's what the whole progression would sound like with that kind of alternate ending. 1, 2, 3. Sounds real nice, and it's probably the progression for a third of the pop songs over recorded history. Just super common progression, and as it turns out, very easy, works out great in the mandolin. All right, one more note, because we don't want to make this too long and give you too much to do at once, because it's important to get things down as you're stepping up along here. But in addition to our basic chords here, these shapes move all over the neck. So this shape here where you have this little triangle You know, this one, and then two notes that are right next to each other, 2 frets behind. That pattern goes all over the neck without even knowing what you have to do though. Your finger becomes like the nut here. So these bottom 2 open strings have to now get covered by your finger. And then it's the same little pattern, that little triangle pattern. One here and then one more up on the high. That little pattern, if you can make your fingers do that without even me telling you any more music theory or knowing what it is, you can take this chord and move it everywhere. Now if you're playing this chord just anywhere in the neck, you do the same thing in the right hand. Now just like before, if these 2 notes come up, nothing moves here. Back down here. Now, just like before, when there was this D chord, where it was top fret, or top string and bottom string, were here, and then 2 frets down, or the 2 notes that were beside each other, were that, just like those, that can also move all over the neck. Just as you move your fingers around. Now, just like before, this finger becomes like the nut. So if you've got your 2 notes here, that finger is just sitting right there behind them. So you can use that. Now, just our pattern just is anywhere in the neck. Time I change shapes, I go to that D chord shape. Alright, that should get you going for a little bit. Get you something to mess with, get those chords going. Again, I'm going to link down below. Look for the one called How to Play Music on the Mandolin Right Away, because combine that with what we've just done here, and you're going to be having a lot of fun, like in no time. And hey, thanks for tuning in to COMANDOLIN, and I'll try to post more of these kind of beginner level videos. I'm trying to hit all skill levels as I go along here. And thanks for watching, happy playing, and we'll see you next time.